really hadn't had a chance to unfold Mercury, as I felt. We just put our foot into the water, to change the metaphor, and not really gone for a swim. So everything that you found is really your own research. I didn't give you very much.
No.
No. So you had to work it out for yourselves.
We did, yeah.
So it's a chance. I'd like to take the chance to go deeper with Mercurius, and since you've done all this work, I'd love to hear what you've found. We start there. We start with what you've got.
I have to try and remember what I found.
Haven't you got it in your bag?
No.
Yeah. I know, it was a whole month ago.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that long.
Yes, it was Friday. One of the things that I remember reading, I don't know where, but it seemed really clear as a description is that Mercury doesn't wet what it touches. I mean, maybe use that electric, but it
Doesn't leave a trail there.
doesn't leave a trail, and it very quickly goes back into itself. And the globules, once they touch them, they all go back into a mass. And yet, to make an amalgam, it easily makes an amalgam, and then bonds and really, really tightly. And also will, which is what you said, will melt gold, corrode. So it's got this sort of three-sided ability of actually not connecting and yet over-connecting. It kind of destroys what it touches. And then we'll bond for life. But it finds it so difficult. Really
Great.
interesting.
Really interesting.
Slightly confusing.
Tell me why you're confused. I just thought you shed great light on it.
No, not, I'm really confused on word, but it's really kind of, wherever you stand, you can get a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
Rather than
Thank you, yeah, ambiguous.
That's the word. I think you had it with tribiguous. But ambiguous indeed. Yeah, totally.
And yet, and also the other ambiguity is that it has a strong surface tension to hold it together, and yet it can't hold itself and needs a container. Because initially I thought it has a low surface tension, which is why it has no form. Actually, it's a strong surface tension.
for a liquid. Yeah.
For a liquid. So there's that sort of ambiguity.
Ambiguity is a very good word.
Also, it's in a part of the periodic table where it's surrounded by heavy solid metals. It's quite unusual in being liquid. It's as though paranoia associated with that.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely extraordinary and completely unpredictable that it should be a liquid. The only way of knowing that is by having it there. You know, Mendeleev was able to predict the chemical qualities and properties according to their position in the table that he created. And of course, therefore, he was able to predict the chemistry of mercury salts. But there's no way in which that table would have predicted the liquid nature of mercury at room temperature. It is extraordinary, definitely.
Comes from the Latinized Greek for liquid silver.
Quicksilver.
Alchemists thought that it was the origin, the source of all metals, didn't they? That's what I read. But I wasn't quite sure what to make of that.
Indeed.
Say that again, Teresa, sorry.
Just that it was the source of all metals. The alchemists thought it was, yeah. And that, but I didn't know. I put that in
The source of all metals.
Yeah. The first matter from which all metals were formed.
Oh.
But I didn't. It's funny because I wrote that in here, but I didn't really know what I could say about that. But I wrote it anyway just to remember it. So.
I think Vithulcus talked quite a lot about going through the ages.
Did he?
She does in the Essence of Material.
What did you find out?
Just, well, how essay really of like the child was starting off precocious and have developed and exceeded to what is to be expected of their years to forward and develop more than is natural or unusual at a given age, and it just just went on things like that. It's too involved really. How was it? Rest. Like their scattered nature, you know, their instabilities are strongly indicated, and in the child, you know, and then it goes on like that. There's lots of things really. Just trying to get your mind applied to it now, isn't it?
It's strange because being scattered, you think as a child would make you immature and silly for your age, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So the precocious is the last thing you would expect from this mind just going all over the place. You'd think they'd just be immature and.
So how was it? Did you find some way of squaring that, explaining it?
I thought that if the mind is moving so quickly, taking everything in all at once, the mental capacity has to mature fast in order to keep up, to cope with all this stuff, this information. So it has to develop quickly in order to cope with all this, looking at this and this and this and this. You know, it's not hasn't got the luxury to mull over one thing and then maybe something else. It has to look at that and then that and then that.
But a precocious child isn't necessarily mature, are they? They appear to be mature. And I was thinking, you know, I can imagine a precocious child as being one that acquires a lot of knowledge about a lot of things, but doesn't necessarily have the adult. They might seem mature because they know a lot of things, and they might be able to mimic or reiterate what an adult. I mean, I think I read somewhere there's a Mercury, you know, is like a mirror as well, and. So the precociousness isn't really immaturity. It is actually a scattered thing, an accumulation of.
It's a reflection of the environment.
Yeah.
A reflection of the adult environment.
Yeah.
And when I think about kids I've known who I might describe as being a bit precocious, there's generally a sort of insecurity about them. There's a slightly oddness about them.
Very odd.
Yeah. Yeah, so although they're mature on one level, they're not on another.
Sorry. You can have a love-hate relationship with them as well. One can be drawn to them and one feel very sort of affectionate towards them, and then the next minute they'll slap your child and you think, God, I don't like you at all. You know, it's a bit like that as well, isn't it?